Howdy, y'all. Tailgate. Nope, not trick photography. Las Calaveras, 2019. That was fun to make. That was fun to do. Michelangelo moment. Howdy, Steph. How's it going, sister? Have you graded your papers yet? I like to grade papers with backhoe. Give them a nice, good, even grading. Road grader. No grades till next week. That's my kind of teaching. No grades at all. I start feeling like I'm in that movie, School of Rock. No grades. That's a good movie, though. Jack Black, bunch of kids. Joan Cusack. And that one female comedian that's not funny. in that movie or ever again. But they say she's a female comedian. You like this shirt color? Thank you, Chad. It felt very bluesish. It's a Disney shirt. Yes, my sister took her kids to Disney one year, and all I got was this crummy t-shirt. But I still wear this shirt, so it's really actually a nice, comfortable shirt. And on me, the color works well. Took the oldest cat to the vet today. No big deal. Annual checkup, shots, other stupidity stuff. Vets are expensive. I mean, damn. They see your cat for a couple of minutes. They shoot them up full of stuff. They talk to you for a couple of minutes. $269. That's still cheaper than the time when I had a kidney stone and the doctor walked in, didn't even walk over to me, basically looked at me from across the room and said, "Yep, looks like a kidney stone," turned around, walked the hell back out. I'm not even going to discuss what my own medical bill was, but let's just say it was, if I could have gotten it down to $269, I'd have took it. Oh, that's right. It's all that expense because it's a CAT scan. Don't worry, there's also lab work. Back to the black market. Good one, Chad. Good one. I like it. Hey, that's okay, Steph. Let's just remember. I also thought about sending a YouTube thing from Kevin Hart over to a certain guy who runs a Friday show. Said something like 20 minutes worth of dad jokes from Kevin Hart. It's worth a shot. So I'm going to tell my one and only dad joke. For this week, anyways. What did 50 Cent do when he got hungry? That's right. 58. I'm sorry. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. It's worth telling it. Matthew, howdy, sir. Oh, picking and pipe. How are y'all doing today? I'm having a good day. Whether I'm allowed to or not, I'm having a good day. Think about it. I woke up this morning. It's going to be a good day. I mean, the alternatives. There you go. Got these gigantic black butterflies flying around periodically out here in the front yard. I haven't seen any of them land on anything, so I can't identify it. But my mother-in-law seems to have them identified. It would figure. It's been one of those long weeks. Anybody else having that almost draining sensation where you're just like, I need an extra day of sleep for whatever reason? I gotta think that it's the heat and humidity here in the Houston area. And maybe it's just I'm getting old. I don't look any older. Anybody got plans for the weekend as of yet? I hear there's going to be a lot of people going to a certain pipe show. That is where Flat Cap and Lady Fire are supposed to be. Matt, now that's interesting. Is it like a foreign exchange thing, or is that a human trafficking type thing? Come on now. I've had one of those weeks where I'm ready to sell my kids for a case of beer each. And my wife's right over here. She's laughing at that one. Oh, goodness gracious. Chad, that's going to be an outstanding playlist. '67 to 1975. John Adams, howdy, sir. And yes, Matt, I do believe that you're right. It's all going to depend upon the type of beer you actually can get for each child.
The question is, do you have to return the beer when they return your kids?
Ooh, my wife makes a good point. Will you have to return the beer when they return your kids? One playlist for each year? Well, I saw your videos too, so I still think that's going to be some good music there. Well, just make sure you get a deposit on the cans or the bottles, whichever one it comes in. And of course, if it comes in that big silver aluminum can that we around these parts like to call a keg, let them keep your kids for a couple of days. He says he has 5 kids, so he'll be good for a couple of days. I only got 1 kid. I ain't selling him for a pint of beer, much less a case. It's just not happening. Of course, not my problem anymore. It's his wife's problem now. So, the baby all 5 for a keg? Yeah. I can see. Yeah, there's ways to work that out. A keg of Guinness? Yeah, keep them for a month.
The deal is they have to keep them for a month.
My wife makes a good point. The deal is, no, you have to keep them for a month. Matthew, I as well love Guinness. I'll see if it was Ziegenbach, which is available here in Texas but nowhere else. The problem would be I'd have to fight my wife for the contents of the keg. And then when it's empty, I'd probably sell it for scrap. So you just have to keep the kids. That's just wrong. Can't say stuff like that. Oh, Murphy's Irish Stout is pretty good, though. Who'd win? A fight between my wife and me over Ziegenbach? Probably her. Because I don't want to hurt her, and she doesn't seem to have that same compunction. The compulsion to not do me physical harm, she doesn't seem to have that. I mean, she hasn't physically pointed a gun at me yet, but I don't put it past her. Of course, I can't say that she hasn't physically pointed a gun at me. There's been plenty of times where I've been sleeping and I'm pretty sure she contemplated it. And she knows where the cast iron skillets are laid out, so just say it. Yeah, she'd win. Now, if it was a full cask of wild turkey, she's toast.
No interest.
1, because she's not interested in fighting for it, and 2, yeah, she has no interest of fighting for it. Just say it. Hot oatmeal in his ear while he slept?
Ew.
I'm not sure if that's a good, bad, or just stupid thing. But okay. Huva Ilta, Boris. Oh. Boris, the only Finnish person I know that thinks the Americans winning the gold medal in 1980 was one of the greatest moments in sports history. I'm gonna meet somebody else in Finland at some point that's gonna disagree with you, Boris. But until then, I'm just gonna think that statement is strange. Now, for the United States, it was obviously it should be considered probably the pinnacle. Hmm. So yeah, I went and spent some of my wife's money today on her cat. That's the all I did. Didn't do nothing today. Just loafed around. Oh yeah, I made her breakfast, but that doesn't count. That's like required servitude around here. Some of the things I get away with saying. At least I'll get away with it until she decides to call me on carpet for it. Morris, don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot of people that were stunned that the Soviets got beaten at all in hockey. And that the team that beat them is the one that actually beat them. That's... How in the hell did that happen? I am fairly certain right now that Vegas hated that game. Because the safe bet was to bet on the Russian team. What was it? 15 days before the Olympics, the American team played the Russian team and lost like what 7-3 or 10-1, or it was so lopsided it was ridiculous. They got beat like a red-headed step mule, a rented red-headed step mule at that. I mean, just destroyed. And then to come back and actually beat them in the Olympics. That's... And you know there was lots of money wagering on patriotism. And Vegas looked at... They'd probably clean up. They probably went down kicking and screaming because of that game. And I will say this, had the Americans lost to Finland, I think they would have still been perfectly okay with it because they beat the Red Russian Machine. What, they destroyed the NHL All-Stars that same year. Best players on the planet, right? No. Obviously not. Skip! Howdy, sir. Great to see you, sir. Oh. I mean, all right. I will give certain amounts of points for Dale Earnhardt Sr. winning the Daytona 500, which had evaded him for forever. Hell, he won every other race on the planet at least once, as far as NASCAR went. When he finally won Daytona, that was one of those moments. Kilted Piper Steve. Howdy, sir. And if Miss Kathy is there with you, howdy, ma'am. Great to have you on board. Volunteer Piper. Nashville, hello. By the way, Nashville Mafia, I am so sorry that I missed your show last night, but I was expecting my little software update to go for 30 minutes tops. I'd still be able to catch most of your show. No, started it. It finished this morning sometime. So much fun. I don't know what all was updated, but I guess everything's working okay. I even started this stream a little bit early so that I could make sure that if there were some issues, I could restart it 2, maybe 3 times before I got tired enough to throw the phone all the way out in the yard. Steve, yeah, I've got the same issue. Too many times. Look, there's a bunch of channels out there. I've got 500 and something channels that I've followed. And I will get notifications from about 3 of them. And I do take the time to then go back and watch some of the ones that I've missed and just been like, what in the hell? How come I missed this? I've got the bell set for it. You actually had Tom Northwest Piper or Northwest Pipe Smoker come on last night? Oh, that would have been fun. Matthew, I'm fairly certain that Jim Kelly was the best chance that Buffalo ever had, and I'm sorry, but I think that's pretty much a dead animal now. Well, now I'm really feeling like I missed out on a great show. And look, I apologize. Like I said, I only thought it was going to take about 30 minutes. That's what it normally takes. When software updates come in, 30 minutes later, I'm good to go. And normally I try to do them as soon as I can so that I can truly get a full amount of time so that I can find out if it's going to actually be able to work, because I don't want to have to try and say, oh look, I'm tailgating. Oh wait, no, I'm not. Thanks, Skip. Yeah, I got this one from Mike just the other day, and well, it's Thursday. Phil, yes, I do believe that the 1973 Belmont Stakes is probably the greatest horse race of all time, showing a record that might quite possibly never be touched. Still to this day, Secretariat's time at the Belmont stands as a world record at that length. Nobody's even come close. I don't know if it's possible to breed a horse that can come close to that. About the only horse race that would ever possibly compete with it would be the Ocean of Fire that Hidalgo won, but you'd have to go back several more years to actually understand that one. Stanley Cup final from 70, that'd be nice, yeah. And the 50 U.S. Open when Hogan won, that would be pretty good. Or how about when the only ever Grand Slam was obtained? One person winning all 4 of the major events of the year. Yeah. Howdy, Cliff. Great to have you all in today. So, Phil, are you doing better? Are you feeling better? And James, howdy, sir. Actually, if for tennis, I would say Agassi winning as a non-seeded possibility. Giving the true belief that an Open can be won by the person that has the ultimate tournament of their life. Yeah, last time I had heard anything from you was a week ago. Well, I didn't hear it from you, but I heard it from Mike saying that you were feeling muchly under the weather. So I'm glad that you're feeling better. And because there's enough people in, and because it's enough time has elapsed. Bowl call. What are you smoking, and what are you smoking it in? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm currently enjoying an Alec Bradley Black Market Robusto. It tends to be my cigar of choice for doing a live feed that lasts about an hour. I know it's going to smoke well. I know I'm not going to have to relight it a bunch of times. And I know that I'm not going to have to try and decipher a bunch of very wonderful flavors that I'm getting out of it. I can just enjoy it and spend my time with you. Oh, James, I'm so sorry to hear that. Uh-oh. Willie's having Thai food. I mean, Thai food, yes. Thai food, that's what it is. Thai food. Well, James, when you get home, say hi to Betty for us. Sugar barrel in an Eric Weaver pipe. Very nice. I like those Eric Weaver pipes. I don't own one yet, but I will one day. Steph's making frozen pizzas. Smoking a Macanudo miniature. Had a bunch left over from my Man with No Name video. Nice. They're not bad. Don Larson's perfect game in the World Series. True. That would be a good one. Broken leg playoff for Tiger. That'd have been good. Boris is in between smokes. Boris, I understand that entirely. Carter Hall in a Medico. Very nice, Steph. So Betty says hello. Kramer's Father Dempsey in a no-name poker. Well, that's just because you haven't given it a name yet, Skip. But I do believe that Stumpy and Workhorse are already taken, so just be aware of that. Washing dishes. Yeah, it's a little difficult to wash dishes while you are smoking a pipe. I understand how that works. Howdy, Scott. Scott, you just walked in. We just pulled the bowl call, so if you feel like chiming in, go ahead. I'm right there with you, Phil. I muchly prefer pizza to be a bit warmer than ice cold. Besides that, I tend to chip my teeth on the pepperoni when they're frozen. Scott's having a bowl of Progresso soup. Well, if you're feeling sickly, I guess chicken noodle might be the way to go. Quite honestly, I can't stand chicken noodle soup. Give me something other than chicken noodle. I'll eat chicken noodle. It's not a problem. I like pasta fagioli because that's more my speed. Nice thick bowl of chili. Now we're talking. Just not really a soup person. Just it doesn't stay with me long enough. And if y'all remember any of the talks where I discussed how many thousands of calories I've eaten in the time, I was never a soup person. Chicken wild rice, that's pretty good stuff. And then you added chicken to it, even better. Yep. That's Navy pizza. It is trying to bounce on me, so I'm switching from Wi-Fi back to regular. I apologize if we had some buffering in there. I'm pretty certain that it was not on anybody's end but mine. It was definitely mine. I had a little message saying that my internet bounced on me, and I apologize. And if they had better internet, I wouldn't say this, but AT&T internet in this area sucks. So there you go. Skip likes Mid-Rat's Pizza. Dingus, you probably didn't have to restart for the TV. It was probably my internet that caused it to fail. Oh. It's better than some of those MREs, though. So, look, I apologize. It was my internet. My internet sucks. Thank you, AT&T. Bok bok. This neighborhood has been, well, it's been on hold for getting a high-speed AT&T line put in because it's a really small neighborhood. But I like a really small neighborhood. I don't like having thousands upon thousands of people in the neighborhood. If you knew exactly where I lived, you'd see that the street I live on is basically a horseshoe. Really, really small. Not too bad. Skip, yes. But ravioli was a blessing compared to. There was. Oh God. I'm trying to remember the right name other than barf in a bag. I know every time I see the correct name that's on the MRE, the thought immediately goes through my head, barf in a bag. And quite literally, it's probably more nutritious to just go ahead and dump the contents of the MRE, puke in the bag, and then eat that. Because whatever it was, I think you might be right. Turkey tetrazzini sounded like more like something you needed penicillin to get past. Just the name brings up that memory of, this is going to be heartburn for the next 3 days. Ugh. There were some really bad MREs back in the 90s. But I used to have to choke them down, mostly because if you're eating 3 meals at each sitting, you're going to be stuck eating a bunch of the bad ones. I will say I liked almost all of the breakfasts, but I'm not a breakfast person, which is kind of weird. Well, it depends upon which clam soup. And really, clam should be chowder. So, Steve, New England clam chowder, while it's a white cream sauce, I think that it's a lot better than Manhattan clam chowder. It has nothing to do with one being in New York and one being out of Boston. For that matter, I should hate the one out of Boston just because, well, if you know me, you already know I can't stand Boston. It's a fun town to visit, but I couldn't stay there very long. Just trust me on that one. Grab a cup of mud and keep heading aft. I hear you, Phil. No, I did not see that John made a video about old Hollywood Briar. I'm going to have to go look that up. James, trust me, when you're eating it 3 to 9 meals a day, you really get tired of MREs. About the only good thing that came in the MREs that was consistent was that little bottle of Tabasco sauce. A little bitty thing. Sometimes that's the only reason I kept that bag, was so that I could have that little bottle of Tabasco sauce. Oh, y'all actually called it bug juice. I so apologize. I thought it somehow transferred from mud to bug, but okay. Y'all called it bug. We'll let you call it bug. That's why I missed it. Okay, if he posted it yesterday, I was pretty busy all day yesterday. About the time I turned around and looked, it was almost time for the fill-in tailgate for Flat Cap and Lady Fire, which, if y'all are watching their channel, they're supposed to go live from a certain pipe show this weekend. Just thought I'd remind everybody of that. See, now y'all are all talking Navy slang. I don't know enough Navy slang. I'm sorry. But I guess it's better to kill the chop than it is to kill the cob. Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. Ah, I know enough about Navy, well, being that my dad was Navy. Of course, on his last ship, he would say that all of your ships were just little bitty things. Hey, if you kill the chop, everybody in Atlanta will have an aneurysm. Well, boats, ships. My dad was on the Big E. So yeah, your boats were dinghies compared to his. Or at least at that time, pretty much there might have been one or two boats bigger than his, but there weren't many. You're going to need a bigger boat. If you need a bigger boat than the Enterprise, you need yeah. You're shit out of luck. Like I said, there just about weren't nothing bigger in the water back then. And Jaws got me interested in the USS Indianapolis, which, after studying it, I realized that was just a horrific tragedy. Millions of square miles of ocean, and you're on a mission so top secret that you don't even send out an SOS after you've been torpedoed. So, Cliff, how about here's to going swimming with bow-legged women? Well, I'll have to look that up, Skip. I do like to read a few 100 books a year. Well, if Skip and Phil have both recommended Pirate, I will definitely look it up. By Peter Benchley. Okay, Google. Find Peter Benchley. There. I'm sure they're listening. So, it's going to show up by magic in one of my feeds. I'm certain of it. I love how invasive Google tends to be. Y'all think it's not listening? Oh, Google is definitely listening. We've been mentioning stuff like Blazing Saddles. Well, suddenly in the last couple of weeks, I've been getting all of these YouTube video feeds that talk about people who are first time ever seeing and reviewing Blazing Saddles. And I'm like, where'd this come from? I don't even know if I want to watch it. I will say that there's a local sportscaster here in the Houston area that before today had never watched the movie Tombstone. I know that's like sacrilegious for anybody in Texas to never seen Tombstone. Yeah, this guy had never seen Tombstone, and somebody was hand delivering him the director's cut DVD. I was like, how could you have never seen Tombstone? Probably one of the greatest westerns of all time. Another one of those big ass black butterflies. But they offered you money to do it for them. That's all right, Phil. They sent me a nasty email saying that my channel is going to be restricted, age restricted, and then also it was not suitable for the placement of commercials. Both of which I said, yay! I think they were trying to break my heart. All they did was make me happy. Oh, they want you to pay them so that they can tell you more about the people who are visiting. That's just D-U-M dumb. James, probably every American citizen is owned quite a bit of money from Google for all of the BS commercials that they put in. I mean, look, go watch any of Match's old stuff. They've added commercials to all of his stuff. His family ain't seeing none of that money. You know they're not. I mean, I'll still go back and watch Match's videos, but the whole we're going to stack video commercials in on this stuff, that's just wrong. I mean, if they were paying his widow some money, okay, I'm willing to put up with it. But you know they're not. As far as them paying me, I don't do this for money. I do this for the fun of hanging out with y'all. That's true, Steve. They do that shit too. And no, I don't like that either. They don't need to know that I was hanging out at Victoria's Secrets. No, I wasn't. One, I'm sorry, but the girls walking in there are old enough to date my son, and he's married, so I'm not interested. And two, ain't nothing in there that's going to fit Holly anyways. So what do I care? Howdy, Paul. Good to have you in today, sir. Now, I'm not going to say we need to kill big tech. But I think big tech does need to have a come to Jesus moment where we drag them out to the woodshed and paddle their ass to the point where they stop being such a brat and stop acting like they've got the good of our nation at heart. They flagged one of my videos where I said, if you say that Donald Trump is not your president, then you're not an American. Well, at the time Donald Trump was the president, so therefore it was a factual statement. That's the same thing with Biden right now. If you say Biden's not your president, fine, you're not an American. Didn't say you have to like him. But whoever's the damn person sleeping in the White House is probably the president of the United States. So therefore, if you're an American citizen, that's who your president is. Again, I didn't say you had to like that guy. In fact, I don't seem to recall liking any president for quite some time. Switching to Haunted Bookshop in a Missouri Meerschaum Country Gentleman. Very nice, Skip. It's always a good choice. Thus saith the Chad. Oh, Scott, believe me, I know, it's for my own good. I can't say my own honest opinion about people wanting to say, hey, this is not my president. Well, there you go. There's my thoughts on not my president. What's his name, Trudeau, in Canada? Not my president. You know what? I'm an American, so definitely not my president. Or how about that guy over there in Australia? Whatever his or her name is. Also not my president. Again, I'm an American. That's none of my concern. Nor is whoever is the leader of Finland or England or Ireland, Scotland, any of the Europe nations, any of, anything that's not listed as America, well, those are not my presidents. Well, James, it's nothing about whether I'm patriotic or not to dislike Biden. I feel that he was the wrong guy to put in there with his growing level of senility. Like saying that 350 million Americans have been vaccinated. There's not even 350 million Americans. So it's obviously a fake statement and therefore should be regarded as completely stupid. And I hate when the guy up in charge makes it look like Americans are just completely stupid. We're not stupid. Some of us might be lesser educated, but that doesn't make them stupid. Thomas Edison did not finish high school. Neither did Albert Einstein. Think about that. Scott, there was some of that "not my president" during the Clinton years also. Some, but it wasn't as big and blown out of proportion until Trump. Well, Matthew, if you happen to be living in New York, then unfortunately, yeah, Cuomo is your governor. And, how does that statement about politicians go? Politicians are like diapers. All of them are full of shit and need to be changed often. Don't worry, Boris. We're going to be here for just a little bit longer. I don't think Mike's on yet. Oh, he resigned yesterday. Really? Huh. Well, like I said, I was busy as hell yesterday, so I didn't catch that. Wow. So who's next? Newsom? Steve? I'm never going to look at somebody who decided that their idea was to get out of school and to do something. I can look across the street at a house that at one point in time was owned by a guy who made it to the 8th grade. 8th grade. That's as high as he went in school. And then he started working as a plumber. And then started his own company. At the time of his death, he was worth $35 million for a guy who did not finish the 8th grade. So there's a lot of people that are undereducated and are still just as smart as could be. Well, Kumo did come out and say that Kavanaugh should not be considered as somebody who should be in public office because there were sexual assault charges that were filed against him. And those sexual assault charges proved out to be false. And then, like, not even 6 months later, there were sexual assault charges being filed against Como, and there he was sticking around in office. But, you know, there it is. And Scott, that's probably the best that anybody could ever hope for. Dying debt-free. I might do it. I might not. I might not be a smart man. Just saying. Yep, Steph's going over to Briar Blues. Is he on? I didn't see the dinger show up yet. I know he put up a thumbnail very early today though, so I am pretty sure we are going to go visit Mike here in just a couple of minutes, if nothing else. I'm looking right now. I'm looking for it on the tablet. Can't say enough good things about Mike. Right now, I don't think it's possible for me to say enough good things about Mike right now. He sent me a pipe and some tobacco. Okay, he's not live yet. It says about 15 minutes. We can hang out for that long. No problem. I like seeing Mike. All of his shows are very informative. And the pace of conversation, it just keeps going. There doesn't seem to be a lag or a dull spot. Sometimes I lag and get kind of dull. I apologize about that. I kind of base the conversation on what y'all are talking about. That's not saying y'all are lagging or dull either. There is no agenda on tailgating. It's just hanging out with friends. That's the agenda. We do that pretty good, don't we? Oh, goodness. Slept funny. Back's a little tender today. Hey, what do you know? But I've got a kick-ass hat. Got a little cat over here looking at me like as if I'm scary. I scared him. Whew. It is fairly moist out today. Humidity levels are kindly high. Howdy, Mike. There he is. We've just been talking about you. All good things. I don't think I'd allow people to say bad things about you right now. Jabes, I would love a hammock, but I don't really have a good place I could put one here in my area. Mostly because I have this thing called a mother-in-law, and she freaks out on anything that I do. I one time went to go put a line up so that I could get a straight line from two corners of a fence to repair the fence, and she came out before I even really got started. I was just rolling out the line so that I could put it from corner to corner, and she was already coming out and saying that I was doing it wrong. You don't even know what I'm doing, woman. So Lord knows if I set up a hammock here in front, back, side, wouldn't matter. She'd pretty much guarantee to start talking crap about me, and I'd have to put it away anyways. But I'd love a hammock. I've slept many a night in a hammock. If it's good things that you're lying. Mike, I don't know how it could be bad things. Well, nowadays, when she starts with the, well, if it was me, I just hand her the tools and say, go ahead. You know how to do it. I obviously don't. Go ahead. And that normally backs her down. Howdy, Boris. Side. With an elbow shot, because I channeled my inner Doug. About the only thing that I ever do that she does not start in on me immediately is when I work electricity. She doesn't know enough about electricity to say nothing to me, and I did it professionally for 18 years. I hear you, Mike. I like that one, Chad. I like that one a lot. Y'all know I watch just about any World War II programming that comes on. Learned all kinds of new things lately. Tell you what, though. Finding out that the Allies were seriously not believing that the Nazi Germany death camps were actually happening. That kind of turned my stomach. Scott, trust me on this one. Women tend to just let a man go ahead and electrocute himself. I think secretly they're hoping that we will. And then privately they're just glad that we didn't. Mostly because, police might get involved. You know the difference between an electrician and a plumber? It's really the only difference between an electrician and a plumber. Electricians get zapped and go, I'm going back for more. plumbers get zapped and they say, fuck this, I'm going to water. Scott, see, I'm telling you. They're thinking insurance payoff if he gets really, really killed. But if he doesn't, at least it'll work. Well, my mother-in-law would really prefer I don't smoke here on the front doorstep. But I keep asking, where else am I going to smoke? And she keeps coming up with nothing, so there it is, and I go back to smoking right where I am. Mike, as soon as we see you live, I'm going to be telling everybody to go over to your channel. And I can tell you from experience, it's always really nice when you start a channel and in the first 3 minutes or so, it populates up. It makes you feel like people are really interested in what I have to say. Or at least see what kind of crazy crap I'm about to pull off. For me, it's more about the crazy crap. I'm sure y'all are all wanting to see what the next crazy stuff I do. I do some crazy stuff. That's okay though. I think I'm pretty much done with this cigar. Normally I'd smoke a little more of it. It's the Alec Bradley Black Market Robusto size. I like to call it my conversation cigar. Mostly because I don't have to worry too much about how it tastes or how it's going to smoke. It's going to be pretty damn good. Well, Chad, I'm sitting out here with 2 hot balls as it is. That might be TMI. But luckily I got shorts on, so that's good for the airflow. Don't blame me. So, some smart man at one point in time, quite a bit ago, said, those people who can laugh at themselves never run out of things to laugh at. And I think that's very true. It looks like Mike just went live, so we are out of here. Yes, a 601 Blue Maduro. Those are pretty damn good. All right, Mike's live. We're jumping over to Mike's channel. Thank y'all all for being here. It was so much fun. As always, take care of yourselves and each other. And, of course, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. I will see y'all on Mike's channel here in just a minute. Y'all take care.
Hello, Daniel. How's it going?